I just ask you why you thought that and what you think about that now?
I mean, I was cocky. I thought that as long as we do what we're supposed to do sexually, then we can control men, and then we can be able to dictate the way that things operate.
Have y'all gone to like marriage counseling or anything like that?
We haven't been to marriage counseling, but we have been to like couples therapy.
Okay.
Okay. So we had some infidelity issues that we had to work through. So we went to couples therapy to kind of help with that.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. You know, it does. Yeah. You know, nobody's perfect. Especially when, like, I think it's really important because, like, so, you know, as a woman, I count from like when we first started, meaning, right? Mm-hmm. And so
punching.
You said what?
Punching.
Yeah. Shaking cheeks. Shaking cheeks.
That's not like necessarily when we became exclusive, and so like, you know, early days where lines were muddled and things weren't right. So we had to kind of get past some of those, like, the messiness, and to be able to start on a good path. Work on communication, work on trust issues, because as two like single people who were like having fun, we saw other sides of each other that we maybe didn't like. And we're like, wait a minute, I know when you were lying before. So like, are you lying to me now, or vice versa? So we definitely had to work through those things in therapy. Another thing that I had to work through especially was divorcing and like getting out of my mind my parents' relationship. My parents have been married for
that's interesting.
My parents will be married oh gosh, I think it's 36 years. Yeah, 36 years.
Shout out.
And they met when they were 14, so they've known each other their whole lives. They've been married for forever. And so I always wanted to emulate their relationship. I always wanted to be them. I always looked at them as goals. And, you know, in the early stages of my relationship, I tried to mimic that. And one, you can't do that with somebody who did not grow up that same way. Right. So it's important that you understand each other's backgrounds and, you know, family structures. But then also, I'm not my mom, and I'm also not my dad, so I can't expect my partner to be that way, to be my other parent. So I had to really identify who I was in a relationship and what I wanted out of my relationship. I don't have a lot of traditional ideals and a lot of traditional roles in our relationship, and that was something that I had to kind of work towards. Our lifestyle's not even like, he is a general manager of a strip club, and 5 nights a week he leaves. Shout out to Hustlers Club in Baltimore.
Up to it. Up to it.
Hey, yeah. I'm up. Hey, yeah, we up to it. Yeah. Which one you said? Which one?
Hustlers Club on Baltimore Street. Yes. If y'all pull up, let me know. I got y'all.
My old hangout.
I'm gonna say.
But like, right. A lot of people react that way too. They're like, "Oh my gosh, like, are you okay with that? Like, how do you feel? Like, are you?" And I'm not going to say that, you know, it doesn't sometimes bother me, because things that, like, I can't get mad necessarily when a dancer DMs him something that might not be appropriate, because she's just sending him a picture
that's what it is.
And that's what it is. Like, there's certain things that, like, I have to be okay with, and I had to have a tough skin about. And I know that a lot of people can't do that. And so, like, that's where our relationship is different, and is like, you know, we had to define that for ourselves. I know Rashada said in the comments, like, a relationship is defined by the people that are in it. Mm-hmm. And that's 100% what it is. Like, you can have ideas, you can have goals, you can have visions, but I think that having a rigid sense of flexibility and being able to mold and move and keep your relationship fluid, because while it might look like this today, it might not look like this in 2 years or 3 years or whatever, you know? So yeah.
That's dope.
All right.
I feel like you want to ask a really juicy question, and I want to know. What's up?
What up?
She been about that life since she pulled up.
Let me go ahead and take this other shot.
That's why she's still here. She's been about that life.
All right. All right. So what I'm saying is, how many pictures? Like seriously, like earlier. Okay. All right. So how long has he been at the This is interesting as hell. How long has he been working there?
So he has been in the nightlife strip club industry for probably about like 10 years now. Yeah, so probably about since like 2011, 2012.
All right. So in the time that y'all been together,
mm-hmm.
how many illicit messages and or photos would you say?
Okay, so they're not. So it's not. So what I want. He doesn't just get like nude photos. They're not like naked. They're not.
Okay. Okay.
Like, you know,
because it sounded like it might have been something like that at first.
You know, but I think that anybody who's not, most females, most women who don't understand, if they were to see that, if they were to see like the conversations or things like that, they would feel like that's inappropriate, right?
Okay.
So if you think about the pictures, if you think about like the video, you know, the Instagram models and the way the pictures, you know, dancers post pictures and things like that, they are damn near naked, you know, like
they're advertising,
right? Like, yeah, that's what they do,
right? And so because of that, dancers will go to photo shoots and they will either FaceTime him or they'll send him pictures from the photo shoot, like, hey, is this a good, you know, is this going to be good for promo? What do you think about this angle? Is this going to fit the flyer that we're doing? Things like that.
Have you ever came across something that you were just like, nah, that's too far?
Yes.
True. And how did y'all handle that?
I said that was inappropriate, and then I was like, this isn't like, I mean, pretty much like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I went off. I got mad. Yeah, I got mad, and it was a whole big thing. But the resolution ended up being that I had a conversation with the young lady, and she was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be offensive. I apologize, yada, yada, yada. And that was but that was also a long time ago when I wasn't I wasn't as prevalent as I am now. So like, for example, I can walk into Hustlers by myself. Everybody knows who I am. Dancers, staff, everything. Like there's no secret to who I am. And
that's important too.
Yeah, and he makes no question. This is my wife. You know, this is wifey. This is my girl. This is, you know, and even to the point where if we're together and at work or you know, and a girl comes up to him first, he will sometimes be like, "Yo, go say hi to her first." Like, or did you say hi to her? Did you speak to her? And they're like, "Yeah, I did." And I'm like, "Yeah, she's fine." You know, but like he definitely established it, and that's the
queen
difference.
Shit. That's queen shit right there.
Yeah, that's the difference between now and like before when we weren't. I would say when we weren't official, and when the disrespect kind of happened. But now definitely it's very open, very upfront, very open. Yeah. Even to the point where now like the dancers will DM, they will send me stuff, like trying to get me. Like they be like, "Oh my God, I'm about to steal your girlfriend, or I'm taking her home with me," or. You know. And I'd be like, "Okay, girl, let me know."
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I'm up to it. I'm up to it.
I'm not traditional. You know
I'm up to it. I'm up to it.
It's not that late yet, so I can't talk about
that. I'm up to it. I'm up to it. We about to make it late enough. Oh man. No, we out here with it, man.
I think that's super dope. You know, which again, you know, much like it's been said in the comments, and like kind of overarching theme is when you have good communication, when you set boundaries, when you have an understanding of each other, you know, like all of these things. When you get on the same page, when you're equally yoked, when you know, like it's important, and it helps to like further your relationship. It helps to keep the lines of communication open. It helps a partner to not be insecure because you've addressed all of those things already. So like I you know, again, I applaud where y'all are. I applaud the growth. I applaud your transparency, because this is your first time with us. Like you could have been like, "Hey, mind your business," but you know, like you went balls to the wall, like you came in. So
yeah, straight up. No, I appreciate that.
I'm very honest about like well, one, I tend to be kind of transparent because I think that everything we go through in life is to teach us a lesson. And if we don't learn the lesson, maybe somebody else will learn it, and then potentially share it back with me. But then also, that's how. So to go back to your first question about like how long has he been doing this and everything, I met him in the strip club. I was he hired me as a bartender. He was managing and DJing. He hired me as a bartender, and that's actually how we met. So when you would get frustrated about like his lifestyle, he'd like, you literally met me doing.
Like you're right. He's like, you knew what time it was.
I was going to change. And that was something that we really had to work through with therapy, because that was his question. Did you think I was going to change? And I was like, absolutely. Look at me. Like, of course I thought she was going to change. Like, I thought that I was going to retire you. I thought that she was going to want to get a 9 to 5 and just sit at home with me. And he was like, yeah, no. I mean, I love you.
Know what?
But
that's another good point that you brought up. You admitted that you expected him to change for you. Can I just ask you why you thought that and what you think about that now?
Because I think that at the time, I was cocky. I thought that the world kind of revolved around women, and that, as long as we do what we're supposed to do sexually, then we can control men, and then we can be able to dictate the way that things operate. And that is something that I definitely learned from. And I was like, that's not, even if that is the case, that's not what you want. That's not what you want to be known for. That's not how you want to associate your worth. I do believe that people not necessarily change, they mature, they evolve a little bit, for their partner. They make adjustments for their partner. But to just say that, that he was just gonna like up and become not a square, but he was just gonna up and become like a 9 to 5 office type of guy, that's unrealistic. He's a creative.
Like he's gonna suddenly not be the person that you met him.
Right, exactly.
And the person that you were attracted to, quite frankly.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was the nightlife. That was the draw. Absolutely, yeah. So to think that he was going to change that was a little crazy. But that also goes for any type of like career or any type of like profession that people are in, because I also know on the flip side of that, he's also a basketball coach, and that is a very different, like, that takes a different level of commitment for me as well, because practice, multiple times a week, being gone for tournaments on weekends, it's not sexual. So people are like, oh, you should be fine with it. No, it's a different type of commitment. It's a different type of lifestyle. If he were to get into, coaching on a professional level, on a collegiate level, I would have to deal with like possibly not being in the same, know where I'm gonna be. Like, okay, here you're you're at this school now, you're at this school there. And even with high school, so like, I think that understanding the goals and the dreams and the passions of the person that you're with is very important, because it will dictate the life that you live. Sorry, I'm
sorry. Stick around. You stay here for a while, okay? You stay here for a while.
I'm here. Listen, I'm here.